Welcome to Short Scale Modelling. This is part 10 of Trumpeter's DRB Class 52 Locomotive. Scale is 1/35. In this part, I'll be finishing off the coal bunker. So building that up and putting it on, well, placing it on the mainframe and applying some little finishing touches to the build. So let's jump into this and see how I get on. Starting off with making the suspension springs, and if you remember way back near the beginning, this is the same process as the ones I made underneath the actual locomotive itself. There's a series of two groupings to be built up, and there's basically two main suspension springs, and in between that there was a mechanism for the suspension spring to move up and down. And once I've made up a particular grouping, it's time to place it on. And the location points are just above the axles of the wheels. On the outer side, obviously, you can see the wheels are all in the inside of the mainframe. And once everything's on, it's just a touch up with the Umbral 60 Scarlet colour, so just painting all the remaining areas. The coal bunker is made up of, in reality, two boxes. So I'm making up the first one. As you can see there, I'm just putting on one of the ends before the side panel goes on. And once all four walls are on, it's a simple case of placing the top covering on it. The bit that isn't painted, that is where the next box will be going on. The box on top of it, initially made up, couldn't quite get it to fit, so I've just opened it back up before it sets, and it fits better in its location holes. There is little slats for these to go in, but they were very tight, so it was easier just to open it up and place it in that way. Ideally, I should have just made it up on the unit itself, but normally you would make this up before placing it on. And once it was in position, the coal part of the coal bunker can then get placed on. For the next part, I've actually ran out of the paint I was using, the Mr. Hobby, so I've mixed up some of my own paint. It's something I love to do because you can never get the proper shade that you want, but I had to mix them up. So I've used Revel Aquacolor 91 Steel 10% and Revel Aquacolor also in Black Gloss 90% to mix up this colour. There's another little storage box I'm having to make up. This one will sit at the rear of the coal bunker. On the box there's two lanterns that go on. These are unpainted as of yet. And this is a little storage box, I think, as well, that goes onto the mainframe. The connecting ring comes in two parts, so that's just sandwiched together. There is little location points in it to make sure it all sits nice and tight. I'm just placing on the drop-down panels which go on top of the coal bunker. There's 40s. I think they're all dropped out. I'm not too sure, but they're in the upright position anyway at the moment. So that's the majority of them on. I'm just placing the last one on now. There's a couple of little fixtures that go right on the end here. To be in all honest with you, if you're building this kit, I wouldn't bother putting these on because you don't actually get to see them, because this is buttoned right up against the locomotive. There's a series of support struts that run down this two-section part of the coal bunker. There is a little location slots for these to fit into, but they were tight. I can now place on the connecting ring, and as you can see, the little bits that were added on go inside the ring, and once that's up against the train, you really won't see them at all. So I can now start putting things onto the mainframe. So first of all is the little side compartment to go on. There's two of these, well, three actually, one at the end and two in the middle. I'm using Revel Aquacolor 05 White for the inside of the lanterns, and the boxes are getting painted in the mainframe colour 60 Scarlet Red by Umbral. Moving on to Life Colour UA 732 Black Rubber Vulcanized, and if you watched the previous videos, you'll know this is my colour of choice for the pipe work. Time to make up the end section of the train, and this is made up very similar to the front section bumper part. So all the little pieces are going on first for these little guards here. Then the other pieces are adding. Again, it's a bit they're a bit small for the camera to pick them up, but these are the curved bars that go in the middle, and then the buffers go on at the end. So it's back to the side of the rolling stock, and the last pipes I'm preparing to place in. This one gets connected to the from side elevation to an upright. So I'm just dry fitting these at the moment to see how they go. And once I was happy with it, I just added a little bit of cement just to hold it there while I put the main pipe section in, which runs right along the mainframe. And the upright part just sits alongside the actual main box itself. I've put a little bit of cement in here just to keep it stable. Next to go on is the end part, and this just fits right on the edge of the mainframe. Now, you can actually put the back bar plate on first, then add the buffers and so forth afterwards. But I found it easier to do it this way. And once it was on, there was a simple case of putting the floor part on. Now the top side isn't painted because that will be covered up with the actual box, and so this is the box going on now, and it just sits right on top of it, so there's no need to paint. And the central lantern that gets fitted in top, there's a little location hole for it just to pop into. It's a little bit difficult to see because it's all black at the moment, but once it's in, it was fairly stable. Next is two sets of ladders. Each one sits at the edge of where the buffers are. And in actual fact, that's the last things to go on to the kit. So I'll just go around the kit now and tidy up any paintwork that I feel needs to be tidying up. And I'm not doing any real weathering to it after this. I'm leaving it in its natural state. I decided if I went to wither it more, it would just look too rough, and I want it to look used but not completely being left out for any length of period of time and unused. So any scuff marks and things like that I've already got on it, I'm going to leave them as a happy coincidence. If I've missed any contact points that I haven't painted out, I will paint them out though. For instance, I can see there's a couple on top of the coat box that I'll be painting out. So no weathering as such. I'm happy to leave a little bit untidy paintwork if it's not too untidy as a bit of weathering. It's a cheat really how to do things, but that's how I'm going to actually approach this. I've also decided not to put any of the decals on. The reason for that is I may want to change it later on. I haven't decided whether I'm going to put this in a diorama, because it'd be a rather large diorama, or leave it how it is and put the German decals on. So I'll keep them for later, and I'll decide what I'm going to do. The review video will be up within a day or two of this video going up. I haven't finished editing yet, so if you can just bear with me, that will be up as soon as I can post it. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel for my other builds? There's quite a lot up there now. There may be something there that holds your interest. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll be notified of any new builds that I've got coming up, including the ongoing build for the Millennium Falcon. So if you hit that notification bell, I'll keep you updated, of course. Feel free to leave a comment, hit that like button, and of course share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.